What's up, family? What's up? It's author and world-renowned storyteller Matt D. Talford back again. I'm laughing because I'm back again with another, you saw the title, another Twin Flame video. So before I get into tonight's video, which I'm going to try my best to keep short and to the point, all right? I want to say, y'all have heard me say this in other videos. If you want to make the Most High laugh, you want to give him a comedy show, tell him what you're going to do or what you're not going to do when your plans for what you want to do or what you don't want to do are out of alignment with his will. So here I am, all right? The question is, are twin flames real? Are twin flame divine counterparts real? And if they are, what on earth are they doing on earth right now? We're going to get into that in just a minute, but before I do, I want to, at the top of the video, send a shout out to a few people that are in one way, shape, or form responsible for tonight's video. Well, ultimately, it's the Most High, because tonight's video is the product of a download that I received a little over a week ago that I fought the Spirit on. Spirit gave me the download a little over a week ago and said, Matt, I need you to do this video. And I was like, I'm not doing that video. But a little over maybe 3,000 years ago, there lived a prophet named Jonah in the land of Israel. And Jonah is an example that I like to use a lot for when I'm talking to people, coaching them, if you will, and not twin flame coaching, just basic general life coaching. And I explain to them that, you know, when you're chosen for a specific purpose, you can do it the easy way or you can do it the hard way. And I bring up Jonah because Jonah could have arrived in Nineveh like the Most High wanted him to go to. Let me refresh y'all, for those of you that don't know the story. There lived a prophet named Jonah who was instructed by the Most High to go to a city called Nineveh. It was a coastal city. And in this city lived some of the most wicked and vicious people around. And guess what? They killed prophets. So when the Most High instructed to go and preach to the city and warn them that if they didn't turn from their ways, they would be destroyed, you have to understand why Jonah thought that was a suicide mission and why he chose not to do it. But Jonah, or I should say, therefore, Jonah decides he wants to get in a boat and go take him a vacation somewhere else. He said, I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna get as far away from Nineveh as I can, and then maybe the Most High will send somebody else or figure out that I meant what I said when I said I wasn't going. So I'm sure the Most High laughed, and he sent a great storm in the water that affected the boat where Jonah was on, sailing to his destination, his vacation destination. And long and short of it is, Jonah ended up where he was going to end up anyway. So the question in life becomes, when you're instructed to do something by the Spirit, by the Most High, are you going to do what he asked you to do and get to Nineveh or arrive in Nineveh smelling fresh with fresh clothes on and fragrant oils or cologne or whatever you want to wear, perfume if you're a lady? Or are you going to end up there wet, nasty, stanky, and smelling like fish? So I learned a little lesson last summer about wrestling the Most High with regards to something that he told me to do. I was instructed to do something back in the summer that 2 weeks in advance of me doing it. Matt, do this. Matt, do this. Matt, do this. Nope, I ain't doing it. Nope, I ain't doing it. Nope, I ain't doing it. And lo and behold, I arrive at a moment of truth where the Most High says to me, you're going to do this today, and I'm not going to tell you to do it anymore. And then I remember Jonah. And also, look, you know when the Most High not playing with you, so I was like, all right, I'll do it. And lo and behold, the very thing that I did on the day that I did it was timely. It was very timely. And I didn't learn about that until later on down the road. So here I am. I know I took y'all all the way around the block to get you to the house next door. So I'm going to take a short break. But before I do, I want to say welcome to you. If this is your first time watching my channel, thank you for clicking on the thumbnail. I hope that this video you will find useful in one way, shape, or form. If nothing else, hopefully you'll be entertained. That's what we do here. We entertain, we uplift, and we educate, and we inspire. So hopefully you get one of those four. And shout out to the Queen. She's one of my top subscribers, one of my top commenters. She knows who she is. She said to me when I announced in my community board some weeks ago that the video on twin flame magnetism, explaining twin flame magnetism, would be my last. She said, I don't think that's going to be your last video. And I was like, nah, this is going to be my last video. In fact, here's a link to a true twin flame coach channel where if you want to get some information, you can follow, you can subscribe to her channel. I'm out. Deuces. I'm back, Queen. You said it. You called it. You called it weeks in advance. Call it women's intuition, if you will. I say it all the time. You guys, everybody has a spiritual side and a physical side. Spiritual energy zones, physical energy zones. But ladies, y'all got more of them than we do. Not that y'all got more of them than we do. Ladies, you guys' spiritual energy zones, your intuition and all of that is a lot more powerful than that of a man. So, shout out to you. And last but not least, shout out to two very inspirational and important people that I like to call friend. Y'all check out my girl Ashley over at Anya's Intuitive, and I'll leave a link to her channel in the description box below. Her energy is one of the things that nudged me, that spirit used to nudge me into doing this video tonight. And then shout out to my girl Kelly over at Lunar Eclipse Tarot. Kelly is my homie. That's my homie from another Romy. That didn't make sense. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, Kelly, shout out to you. Kelly has been on me about this. Kelly and I are friends, and she's been on me like, dude, you got to do that video. You got to do it. You got to do it. You got to do it. And I was like, nope, not doing it. But I don't want to end up anywhere smelling like fish and needing a shower to deliver the message that I was instructed to deliver. So with that, I'm going to take a short break. And when I come back, this has been a long intro, so I'm going to jump right in. You're watching Maddie's Rap with author Matt D. Talford. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. And without further ado, I'm going to jump right in on answering the question, are twin flames real? And if so, why have they incarnated now? Let me begin with a passage of scripture. In fact, let's go ahead and read that now. Two passages of scripture, and I'll show you the link in just a minute. These are going to seem abstract at first, but when I get into it, you'll know exactly why I read them. Okay, the first passage I'm going to read from the New International Version, which I don't read from often, but in this case I will. This first passage of scripture comes from the book of Ephesians, which is found in the New Testament, chapter 2, verses 1 through 3. And you were dead in the trespasses and sins in which you once walked, following the course of this world, following the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that is now at work in the sons of disobedience, among whom we all once lived in the passions of our flesh, carrying out the desires of the body and the mind, and were by nature children of wrath like the rest of mankind. All right? The second passage comes from the book, that was Ephesians chapter 2, verses 1 through 3. The second passage of scripture comes from the book of John, and I'm going to begin at verse 42. Okay, verse 42. And in John chapter 8 here, the Messiah is going back and forth with the Pharisees, who represented mainstream religion. Okay, and of course the Messiah, you guys hear me say it all the time, he was not a religious person, and this is why the religious establishment was always challenging him and ultimately paved the way for his crucifixion. Okay, his torture and subsequent death. And of course, I do believe in the resurrection story. Some don't. I'm a full believer in it. I believe that was part of the miracle of why he came. I got videos breaking down that the actual resurrection was more important than the crucifixion itself. But for some reason, people want to dwell on the crucifixion and, to each his own, bow before torture devices and such. But to each his own. I'm not wear torture devices, but to each his own. I'm not going to get into that. John chapter 8, verse 42. I'm going to read through 45. Okay. Now, I'll read from the King James Version this time. John chapter 8, verse 42. And the Messiah said unto them, if God were your father, you would love me, for I proceeded forth and came from God. Neither came I of myself, but he sent me. Verse 43, why do you not understand my speech? It's because you cannot hear my word. Verse 44, you are of your father, the devil, and the lust of your father will you do, or you will do. He was a murderer from the beginning and abode not in the truth, because there is no truth in him. When he speaks a lie, he speaketh of his own, for he is a liar and the father of it. Now, you can, verse 45, and because I tell you the truth, you believe me not. Okay, that was John chapter 8, verses 42 through 45. Those two chapters link, or those two references link together with regards to what I'm talking about. One, in Ephesians chapter 2, he was called the prince of the power of the air. What is the air? What travels through the airwaves? Mainstream thought, mainstream words, mainstream narrative, mainstream doctrine. All right. And ultimately, as a result of the intertwining or interbreeding of those four things, you have mainstream consciousness. So, do I believe that twin flames are real? Yes, I do. Why? Because it goes against the mainstream narrative. The mainstream says that they're not real, and yet there are so many thousands of people around the planet that are experiencing these energies that they cannot explain. They are encountering versions of themselves that they did not know existed prior to meeting that individual. Okay, so I won't go any further into that. You guys can look in my channel. You can look, I'll put some links in the description box below, or you can look at the relationship playlist. Just go through my playlist and find the one that's on relationships, and I got all of my twin flame videos in there. If you don't know what twin flames are, you never heard of it. Well, first off, if you don't know what they are, this probably isn't your video. This is really targeted toward those that identify as twin flame, aka divine counterparts, divine masculine, divine feminine, two bodies, one soul. People that identify with that, this video is pretty much to support them, because there is a huge attack by the Sentinels. You understand what I'm talking about if you've seen the movie The Matrix. The Sentinels came out and attacked anything that went against the program. Anything that seemed to be a variance away from the program, aka the Matrix, aka the chains on the mind that the Messiah came to break when he said he came to set the captives free, and yet there are no accounts of him kicking any prison doors in. When he came to break those chains off their minds, those were the chains of the Matrix, okay? So in the movie series The Matrix, Sophia Stewart was brilliant. She was ahead of her time. She's responsible for the Matrix series of films and the Terminator series of films. Look her up. Brilliant sister. Ahead of her time, way ahead of her time. In that film series, The Matrix, the Sentinels were those that came out to try to shut down anything that seemed like it was an anomaly or did not go with the program. So, the program says twin flames are not real. I say they are. I say they are, and I say they are, one, because of that. He says he's a liar and the father of it, and who is the he? The he is the devil, Satan, whatever. He's the prince of the power of the air. The airwaves rule thought, consciousness, communication, all right, narrative, doctrine, all of that. All of that's the prince of the power of the air. That's who he was speaking against when he was talking to these Pharisees and told them they were of their father, the devil. So why would I want to believe the narrative of the prince of the power of the air? If the prince of the power of the air says they're not real, I'm going all the way. All right. So let's put that to bed. Now, the next thing I want you to understand is star seeds. Because I've already answered the question. Matt, do you believe twin flames are real? Are they real? I say yes. Now, ultimately, that's up to you. Again, if you identify that journey, then you agree with me. I'm preaching to the choir. Let's move on now to what you all have been waiting for. What is the ultimate purpose for the incarnation of so many massive amounts of people identifying as twin flames right now? And I will say this, I personally do not believe that everybody that identifies as a twin flame divine counterpart is a twin flame divine counterpart. A lot of people are out there looking for a divine counterpart. And the people who, based on my own studies and my own interviews and my own conversations with people, the people that are really on that journey, the journey found them. They didn't go looking for it. A lot of these people were perfectly happy and fine living their lives the way they were. And they met someone, they met another soul that sparked a some sort of awakening in them. And in a lot of cases, in the cases of the those that identify as divine feminine, it sparked them and put them on their soul's path, what they came to this earth to do. It put them, meeting that person, ignited something that put them on their soul's mission. All right. I won't get into the ups and downs of the journey. If you could hear from these people and the divine masculine, I'm not leaving them out. The divine masculine has their own issues they deal with regards to that journey, and are, typically labeled as the runner. The divine feminine is typically labeled as the chaser. You guys go through my playlist and look at the videos. This is not a twin flame lesson. This is to answer the question, are they real? And B, break down to you why they're here. So now, all that said, let me get back on the road here. Star seeds. What is a star seed? A lot of people don't believe in star seeds, okay? I happen to believe in star seeds. I happen to believe that all true twin flame divine counterparts are star seeds. I happen to believe that. Now, do I believe that all star seeds are twin flame divine counterparts? No. But I do believe that all twin flame divine counterparts are star seeds. What's a star seed, Matt? Let's not get fancy. Let's not get deep. Let's keep this real simple. What is a star? A star is an energy and a light. A star is an energy and a light. A star is an energy that affects, it is an energy from the cosmos that affects life on Earth, okay? You have star constellations, what are what? Your signs. Your signs. Star constellations are your signs. I'm a Capricorn. Capricorn, those that are born under the sign of Capricorn or the constellation of Capricorn, they have certain characteristics that differentiate them from the one that precedes them, Sagittarius, all right? Sagittarius has characteristics that differentiate them from the Scorpios before. The Scorpios before have characteristics that differentiate them from Libra. Libra has characteristics that differentiate them from Virgo. Virgo has characteristics that differentiate them from Leo, and so on and so forth, okay? So those star constellations are energies that affect life on Earth, but all of us are made up of those same energies. All right. And I won't get into an astrology lesson. There are those out there that believe you're the sign you are because of when you were born. I happen to believe that you had to be born when you were born because you are the sign that you are. So I look at it the other way. I think that because people say, well, I'm a Leo because I was born August the 1st. Yeah. Well, I think that because you're a Leo soul, you had to be born on August the 1st. That's how I look at it. You could have been born any other time outside of Leo season. If you are a Leo, you had to be born during Leo season. Think about the babies that are born a month early, 2 months early, whatever. Well, if they were born on their due date, they would have been this. Well, no, because they are this, they had to be born when they were born. That's how I look at it. Now, so stars, we talk about the constellations, but there are also these things called planets, which in some circles are called wandering stars. We're talking about star seeds here. Wandering stars. These wandering stars, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, okay? The sun, in effect, is a star, okay? The moon, in effect, is a star because it is, in astrology, known as a planet. Planets are wandering stars. They're stars that move. The constellations are fixed. The other ones, they move through the constellations, okay? So, now, so if these stars affect life, okay? They affect life on Earth. Stars are energies. They're nothing more than energies and lights. So now, if stars are energies and lights, what is a seed? A seed is this thing, this organism, if you will, micro or macro, depending on what size you want to look at. Are we looking at a watermelon seed or are we looking at a mustard seed? A seed is a tiny little organism that is pretty much inert until it is activated by water, and by the combination of water and soil. You put it in water, you put it in soil, it is activated, and the codes that are within that seed go on to produce a full version of whatever that seed is. Okay, so you drop an apple seed in the ground, you water it, you nurture it, sunlight hits it, boom. Sunlight hits it, pay attention. Sunlight hits it, pay attention, okay? Pay attention. Sunlight hits it, it activates. And sooner or later, you're going to see a sapling of an apple tree. And sooner or later, that apple tree is going to come into its fullness and it's going to bear other apples. It's going to bear apple fruit. Cucumber, one of my favorite summer vegetables, cucumber. Drop its cucumber seed in the ground. You water it. The soil is rich, full of nutrients. The sunlight hits it. It downloads these codes from the sun that activate the codes in the seeds. And then you got a vine growing that is going to give off cucumbers. Okay? So now, star seed. A seed of the stars. Twin flame divine counterparts, in my purview, are star seeds. So if you got a divine masculine in one body over here and a divine feminine in one body over here, and they come together, they got one job to do. They have to produce new versions of themselves. If they are one soul and two bodies and they come together and they produce offspring, what happens? They have a new single version of that soul that was divided into two separate bodies. Why is that important right now? Go and watch my video that reads something to the effect of, let me find that. That video is titled, let's see, YouTube. That video is titled, Relax, It's Not the End of the World, Cosmic Update. Go and check that video out. In that video, I explained that we are entering the cosmic spring. We're entering the spring of a new cosmic year. In that video, I talk about how Aries is the first sign of spring on Earth in the Northern Hemisphere. No shade to my people in the Southern Hemisphere, but in the Northern Hemisphere, Aries is the first sign of spring, all right? Aries is the first sign of spring. Well, the cosmic wheel moves the cosmic clock moves the opposite direction. We're exiting the age of Pisces and entering the age of Aquarius. Pisces is the swing point on Earth. Pisces is the bridge between winter and spring. Pisces passes off winter to spring, and then Aries is the first sign of spring. Well, in the cosmic wheel, or in the cosmos, Pisces is the sign that passes off winter to spring. All right. This is why all the darkness is falling away, but the darkness wants to hold on to power. So what happens in the spring? We get newness. What is happening right now? The prophesied split. There's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. A new heaven and a new earth. All right. A new firmament and a new earth that needs to be inhabited by new seed. So I just gave it to you right there, folks. I just gave it to you right there. The ultimate purpose. And people say, well, twin flames are here to be examples of unconditional love and to help raise the frequency and the vibration of the planet. Yes, all of that is true. But that is the spiritual side. That is the intangible. That is the divine feminine aspect of it. There's a divine masculine aspect of it as well. You guys hear me break this down in my astrology videos. You hear me break it down in my chakra videos, rather. Feminine energy is spiritual. Masculine energy is physical. So in the spirit, from the spiritual side of things, yes, these twin flames meeting, becoming activated like a seed. When that seed gets activated and you start to see that little sprout, it's the same way with twin flame energy. That they meet, they activate, and then there's this separation. I talked about the separation in another video. Go and check it out, okay? That separation is necessary for the shedding of old paradigms. It is for the shedding of old ways of moving, old ways, old conversation as listed in scripture there. Conversation is a way of life. When the scripture says conversation and let your conversation be holy in like the New Testament, it's not talking about your speech. It's talking about your lifestyle. Your lifestyle. So a new lifestyle. You're shedding those old paradigms so that you can come with a more pure and righteous lifestyle. So guess what? These twins, when they meet and they're activated, their energies are activated, and then they go into the separation and go into the dark night of the soul. That is required for them to emerge as new creatures. All right. If any man be in Christ, he is a new creature. What happens? I did a video talking about that Christ oil. You guys can check that out. I'll put a link in the description box below. All right. when you've gone through the dark night of the soul, you are born again. You don't come out of the dark night of the soul doing the same things you did before you went into it. You're a completely new individual. You are a new soul. You have shed the old and taken on the new. Well, if that is happening with this divine masculine and this divine feminine, it is so that they can be purified for the purpose of creating a new unified version of themselves in this new cosmic spring. It's time for new seed. There's gosh, where's that? I believe that's is it 1 Peter or 2 Peter chapter 1? I'll put a banner at the bottom of the screen there. You guys can look it up. But there's one of the chapters is either 1 Peter or 2 Peter chapter 1. It talks about new incorruptible seed. What is seed? Is seed spiritual or is it physical? So all of these things have been prophesied. Now the English language has butchered it so bad, as the translations have been butchered so bad that it has allowed the religious establishment to take spiritual concepts and turn them into religion. When turn them into religion, when in fact they've always been spiritual in nature. He who worships the Father must worship in what? Spirit and in truth. Not in religion. Not in religion. That's why he told the Samaritan woman, you don't even know what you're worshiping. He said, but we know what we're worshiping. He's talking about him and his disciples. He's talking about him and his disciples because he taught them. He showed them the way. He showed them the difference between spirituality and religion. So this is a spiritual phenomenon that is happening. This whole twin flame awakening is a spiritual phenomenon. And what I believe it to be is I believe it to be the creation, ultimately, not perhaps it's not happening right now, and there are some who have given birth to children, and from what I hear from these divine feminines, is that these children are amazing. They're nothing short of amazing. When I hear these stories of these children and their gifts that are showing up before they can even speak, oh my God, it blows my mind. It blows my mind when I hear these stories from these mothers of how spiritual and how gifted these children are before they can even speak. I'm talking about speak like regular English, like they're still da da do do da ga ga. They're not speaking whole words yet, but they are displaying these powerful spiritual gifts, and it's mind blowing. So to me, that is the evidence of what I'm talking about. Hey, this person, they had a child with their divine counterpart. This child is a golden child of sorts. This child is amazing. This child is doing wondrous things. If you have two bodies, two different polarities that share the same soul, then in effect, what you may have is a energetic form of, I believe it's called parthenogenesis or let me look that word up really quick. Parthenogenesis, the reproduction from an ovum without fertilization, especially as a normal process in some invertebrates and lower plants. So, if this is one soul split into two bodies, then when these two bodies come together and produce an offspring, they are in effect producing a new, pure version of themselves. If you've got one soul and two bodies, and those two bodies come together and produce offspring, then that was one soul producing one soul. Not the normal that we have, where we have two souls producing or becoming, in effect, the gateway and the spark for a new soul. So you got a 2 to 1 is what happens. Two to come together to form the one. That's what happens normally. But if twin flames are truly two souls, or one soul in two bodies, then when they come together in union, they are there for the purpose of creating a non-corrupt version of themselves, a non-tainted version of themselves. One soul producing a new version of itself. This is mind-blowing. And so now you understand why I didn't want to do this video. I've lost sleep over wrestling with the Most High over wanting to do this video, or not wanting to do this video. So because I've lost sleep and my eyes are probably red right now, they're starting to feel red. I didn't bring my sunglasses out of the car and these lights are getting a little bright. So I'm going to get ready to wrap this video up. I hope you will consider buying me a cup of coffee because I do have to go to work tomorrow. So if you want to buy me a cup of coffee, the link will be in the description box below. If you feel so moved, please do. Please do. Be my guest. I would love for you to buy me a cup of coffee, okay? I'm probably going to need it after doing this video, okay? There's not, I don't think there's a link to buy a shot. by a shot of gin. No, I'm kidding. I didn't say that. Y'all didn't hear me say that. All right. Anyway, I'm going to get ready to wrap this video up, ladies and gentlemen. This was not an easy video for me to do. As I said in the introduction, I wrestled with this for over a week, but today was the day. So I had to deliver that message. So now, why is it important that you know this? I share this message that came as a download to me from the heavenly realms, okay, from the divine. I share this message for two reasons. One, I have not heard this message myself. If I had heard someone else say it, I wouldn't have had to deliver it. But I've not heard this message anywhere else. So that means this message had to come, and it had to come through me. I was the one chosen to do it for whatever reason. Look, I'm the messenger, all right? You ain't mad at me? If you're mad, you ain't mad at me. You mad at him who sent me, all right? So with that being out of the way, this message, that was the one reason why I shared it. But the other reason I share this message is to encourage those of you who are on the journey. I'm seeing some really nasty things coming out now by people that are trying to stop what is happening in the earth. They're trying to stop the new heaven and the new earth. They're trying to keep the chains of bondage on people's minds. They don't want people to embrace spirituality. There's an all-out onslaught against people in the spiritual community that are trying to awaken consciousness and raise the vibration. This is why I'm always saying, y'all, stay high vibrational. Keep your emotions in the high vibrational range. It is so important nowadays. It is so important that you keep your vibrations high through this transition. Why is that important? Because when the transition is complete, you'll already be there. If your vibrations are low through this transition, then you cannot make it into the high vibrational realm once the transition is complete. Once the new heaven and the new earth are fully online. It's happening. It's happening. Pluto and Aquarius is a part of that. Y'all check my video out. These structures that have enslaved mankind for so long, they're falling right and left. And they can't even hold on to it. I saw another YouTuber put out a video the other day that said that the powers that be are considering adding another hour to the daytime clock. Like they're literally considering, if I can find the article, I'll put the link in the description box. They're literally considering adding a 25th hour. Like what kind of foolishness is that? As though the sun is going to move on your schedule. Spiritual warfare out there, y'all. They're trying. Stay high vibrational. So I hope this message helps someone stay encouraged. Right now, both counterparts, divine masculine and divine feminine, are continuing to proceed through the shedding of the old paradigms, the old versions of themselves that no longer serve themselves, so that they can fulfill their ultimate mission on this earth. Now, again, raising the vibrations and all of that stuff, that's the feminine side of it. That's the spiritual nature. But there's a physical nature too, and that can also be found in scripture. That is the propagation of new incorruptible seed. This is why they're going through these painful dark nights of the soul, which is designed to strip away all of the things that do not serve, the things that keep you in low vibration. It's designed to strip all of that away so that you can emerge as a new, higher vibrational version of yourself, so that you can fulfill the role for which the Most High designed you, not a role that you chose. I don't know anybody on that journey that calls himself a twin flame that chose it. I don't know anybody that says they went looking for their twin. Anybody looking for a divine counterpart has been met with utter disappointment. Why? Because people that weren't looking for them have been met with utter disappointment. But I'll leave you with this. Let me say this before I end this video. Gratitude is the attitude. Gratitude is the attitude. If you are on the twin flame journey, flip it. It's time to flip the narrative. I've heard it from so many divine feminines. I've heard it from a couple of divine masculines. Okay, they want nothing to do with the journey, and yet they have been transformed by this journey. By the journey. Why am I saying this? By the journey. They have been transformed by the journey. So, it is time to give gratitude and thanks for the transformation that has taken place in you. All of the pain was necessary to transform you into what you are. Coal does not become a diamond by having it sit out in the air. It has got to go under immense pressure for that diamond to come forth. So give thanks. The more you have gratitude, when that person pops into your mind, throw away. It's time to move away from, oh, this person did this to me. Oh, this person did that to me. Oh, this person did this to hurt me. It's time to move away from that. They didn't do it to hurt you consciously, for starters. That was a part of the process. That was a part of what triggered the dark night of the soul so that you could heal from the things that would keep you from being high vibrational. All right? So, I could hear this question already. Somebody's probably asking, hey, what happens if me and my significant other, my divine counterpart have already had a child? Let me say this. When y'all produced that child, both of y'all were in some high vibrational energy. You had not yet been in that triggering point, so that child is fine. If you are truly divine counterparts, that child's fine. And again, that goes back to what the reports I've heard. These children are doing amazing things. All right? So protect the kids. I'm going to do a whole nother video. I'm not going to bring that energy in here that I want to talk about that was propagating in the media some days ago. I'll do a whole nother video talking about that, but I'll give you a clue. Protect the kids. Protect the kids. Not only are you to protect them physically, but protect them spiritually. Protect what they take into their eyes and their ears. Protect what they take into their eyes and ears. Because this is like the last ditch effort. Guys, you know, I'm a little bit of a war history buff, and I can tell you in every major conflict that I've ever studied about, the most brutal battles have been the tide changing ones, or the ones that were at the end. The tide changed already. Some say the tide changed in 2020. But I'm here to tell you that this is the final battle. They are doing everything they can. Look, if you're trying to add another hour to a day, you desperate. It's over. It's over for the dark side. Why? Because we're entering a cosmic spring. You cannot stop the spring. As bad as you may want to, the most you might get is the groundhog seeing his shadow and saying, oh, you got an extra 6 weeks of winter. But you're still not going to stop the spring. We're moving into a new cosmic spring. And with that, it's going to be newness of everything. And all the old is falling away. And we're getting new. So stay encouraged. If you're on this journey, gratitude is the attitude right now. It's time to put away the old. It's time to put away the memories of the painful memory of what this person did and say, you know what? I give thanks for this person entering my life. If this person did not enter my life, I would not be on this spiritual path. I give thanks for this person entering my life. If this person had not entered my life, I'd be in the same mundane work. I would not be doing my soul's work, fulfilling my soul's purpose, what I came here to do, how I came here to grow. Give thanks. And that's going to change the whole dynamics of the connection. If it's a real connection. If it's not a real connection, then you probably hate that person. And then there's no room for hate in a true twin flame connection. Why? Because the love is unconditional. And what I've heard from some of these divine feminines that had the most done to them is that they would not let anybody else get away with the things that were done to them. And I'm not talking about physical, because physical abuse does not go with that. If somebody's putting their hands on you, ladies, fellas, if somebody's putting their hands on you, they're not a divine counterpart. That does not happen. That never comes into play. But for those of you that are on the journey and, you know, this person did whatever they did the most to hurt you emotionally, it had to happen. It had to happen. So give thanks for that. Give thanks for being chosen. You are awakening to your true divine nature. And your true divine nature is absolutely beautiful. So give thanks for all aspects of this journey, and it is going to cause you to take a quantum leap in the connection. No more, I wish I had never met this person. That's got to go. Because the truth is, if you had never met that person, you wouldn't be your highest vibrational self right now. So it's time to put that away. All right, family, this video's gone on long enough. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, I said this in a number of my other twin flame videos. I'm saying it in this one. I'm not a twin flame coach. I'm smart enough now to know that I'm not going to do another twin flame video. But let's say this is the last one, unless I receive another download and I'm instructed by the Spirit of the Most High, the Spirit of Truth, to deliver new content to you guys with regards to that. But if you haven't heard it anywhere else, you heard it here first. Your ultimate assignment. And this is why these connections are so heavily protected by the divine. These connections are heavily protected. You have scores of angelic energies protecting these connections. They just are. These are heavily protected. Why? They're protected in the same way that a seed is. You eat a peach. The real seed is not that hard outer covering of that peach seed that we call a seed. The seed is on the inside. That seed has some heavy protection. You darn near need a hammer to break it, okay? You can't break it with your teeth. In the same way, these star seeds that are to produce new versions of themselves have a powerful, high vibrational, angelic shell, protective shell around them. And this is why, because they have to produce new, non-corrupt versions of themselves for this new heaven and new earth and cosmic spring that we're entering. All right? Hit that subscribe button if you like being motivated, inspired, entertained, educated, uplifted, informed. Hit that subscribe button for me. All right? Hit that subscribe button for me. And share this video with someone that you may know to be on the journey that needs some inspiration on this. Because the outcome is beautiful, guys. You got to see the outcome. Don't look at your current situation, your current circumstances. Focus on the outcome. Focus on the outcome and not the quote unquote desired outcome. It's not about desire. Desire is not necessarily a high vibration. It's not about a desired outcome. It is about the outcome that you know to be true. And I just gave you what the purpose is. So don't let anything stop you. Keep working on you. Keep focusing on you. Continue to bring into union your own inner divine masculine and divine feminine energy. Bring your own chakras into alignment so that you can be highly magnetic. And spread your light and produce more light in this realm. It is ultimately the light that's going to drive out the darkness. All right? Tell somebody you love them and mean it. All right? How do you mean it? You have to show it. In fact, I heard a song the other day that speaks to that. All right? Who knew? Who knew that went right along with tell somebody you love them and mean it? How do you mean it? You have to show it. It goes a little something like this. More than words is all I'll ever need for you to show. Then you wouldn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I'd already no. All right, family. Tell somebody you love them and mean it. How do you mean it? You have to show it. Love is a verb. It is a noun as well. But when we focus on the verb, the noun always takes care of itself. Peace, y'all. More than words is all I'll ever need for you to show. Then you wouldn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I'd already